What happens when a desperate ex-MP, a microphone and a pile of fear-mongering talking points collide? You get Jonathan Gullis, out of a job, out of credibility, and one angry rant away from officially joining Reform UK Limited. And in this interview, he proves exactly why he lost his seat. So here is Jonathan Gullis, already sounding like the unofficial Reform UK Limited's audition tape. He calls immigration a travesty, like he hasn't spent the last 5 years failing to do a single thing about it when he had a vote in Parliament.
Illegal migration is a travesty to this nation. It's rightfully what cost the Conservative Party and people like me their parliamentary seats, and were hounded out of office for the failure to do the basic thing of controlling our sovereign borders. These are predominantly, overwhelmingly young single men in the age of 18 up to 39, many of whom, or a lot of whom, will have medieval attitudes when it comes towards women.
Okay, did you listen to that? Gullis doesn't even try to hide his dog whistles anymore, painting refugees as young men with medieval attitudes towards women. He's not even talking policy, he's stoking fear, smearing entire groups with no evidence, and yet he wonders why he's out of a job.
As well as obviously coming and fueling criminality. Let's not forget that we're seeing more and more cases where, in case Baroness Casey's audit, these illegal migrants are showing up in child rape gangs. We've seen The Sun call out the fact that these migrants are going into stores like Liberty in central London and thieving and shoplifting using tinfoil lined bags. We're also seeing, obviously, the black market when it comes to Just Eat, Uber Eats and other delivery drivers earning up to £1,000 a week in some cases, as well as obviously then working in the drug trade and black market too.
And there it is, a full bingo card. Rape gangs, theft, drugs. Gullis strings together every tabloid headline he can remember to brand human beings as criminals, without ever presenting a single verified statistic. This isn't a debate, it's a cheap audition for the Reform UK leaflet.
So are you about to join Reform?
Well, I think these are things I've said.
You've just spent a couple of minutes there espousing reform policy.
Well, these are things I espoused when I was a Member of Parliament, that is fully on the record and said in studios like this when I was still a Member of Parliament too. I'm still angry deeply at my own party for failing to deliver on its promise to stop the boats.
Even Ian Dale could see through it. And when asked, are you going to join Reform, Gullis stumbles, insisting that these are just things he's always said. Yeah, right. You just happen to now perfectly parrot Reform's talking points because it's your only shot at clinging to relevance. Then comes the reality check. Gullis pretending to care about women while praising Donald Trump, an adjudicated sex abuser and self-confessed sex offender. It's beyond parody. He can't even keep his outrage consistent for 30 seconds.
You sit there and claim to have any kind of concern for the safety of women and girls, and in the same monologue praised Donald Trump, an adjudicated rapist, self-confessed sex offender who's trying to take away bodily autonomy from women in the United States, who is being welcomed for a second state visit next month. You cannot have it both ways. The reason that it is mostly young men that we see making that dangerous trip across the channel is because they come here first and then they try and gain asylum, and then they send for the women and children who can come here safely.
They don't come here first, do they, though? They come to Italy, they come to Greece, then they travel through Central Europe, then they come to France.
There is no law
Keir Starmer's done a deal which creates a safe and legal route from France, which will drag more people to the French border, which will mean that if they...
under 96
You're talking over each other.
Apologies.
I'm sorry. There is absolutely no law that says that they have to stay in the first safe country they arrive to.
And now watch how he moves the goalposts. He's no longer saying all migrants are criminals, just a large cohort. No numbers, no proof, just Stoke-on-Trent anecdotes and a smear that turns desperate people into monsters for his own political survival.
I didn't say all. I said there would be the cohort of those young men who have medieval mindsets towards women.
A large
cohort of those men, yes, those young fighting-age men who are coming over on small boats, and it is a very dangerous thing indeed that these men are coming over. And Baroness Casey's own audit said they are showing up when it comes to child rape gangs more and more when it comes to those police records.
And again, Ian Dale calls him out on it. This is dehumanising language. Words have consequences. But does Gullis care? No, he's banking on outrage, clicks and reform voters because he knows his political career with the Tories is now over.
But do you not have to watch your language here a bit? Because words have consequences. And if you try and make out that a large cohort, by which I'm assuming you mean sort of getting on for half or even over half, are likely to be potential sex offenders...
Or criminals.
Then... Well, I mean, that makes it even worse, doesn't it? Because there's no evidence for that. Yes, there have been arrests and charges brought and convictions made against some people who've come over on small boats. You're absolutely right on that. But to try to label all of them or a large cohort of them in that way, I mean, I think that's quite incendiary.
Well, you can think that, and others will get offended, I'm sure, with their faux outrage online.
And then, by the end, Gullis has abandoned reason completely, talking about young men roaming the streets like he's narrating a crime drama. It's not leadership, it's desperation. The rant of a man who can't find a job, can't win an argument, and is one Reform press conference away from making it official.
And I'm talking what is going on in places like Stoke-on-Trent, which were the 5th largest voluntary contributors to the asylum dispersal scheme previously, which saw us have over 1,200 illegal migrants in our city, and we're to the point where we had a 1 in 30 ratio in a Truro and Hanley ward, the city centre, well above the 1 in 200 ratio that is meant to be the absolute floor when it comes to the Home Office's own data. And in that particular ward, what's the highest, what we see? It's the highest for violence and sexual offences, it's the highest for theft, it's the highest for shoplifting, it's the highest for antisocial behaviour. Again, Stoke-on-Trent is constantly used and abused by successive governments and Serco when it comes to dumping people in our city because we have a cheaper private rental housing stock as well as hotels.
Jonathan Gullis doesn't want solutions, he wants a lifeline, and if Reform UK Limited dangles one, he'll grab it, because fear and smears is all he has left. The last video I made on him, he got completely embarrassed by Caroline Lucas. So if you want to have a laugh, go watch that next. It's on screen now. Thanks for watching, don't forget to hit that like button, and I'll see you next time.